Ready?
Yep.
I'd like to call this meeting order, Struthers City Council, Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, 7 p.m. Clerk, call roll.
Yes. Mr. Balick?
Here.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr.
Here.
Beagley?
Here.
Mr. Burnside?
Here.
Mr. Carselli?
Here.
Mrs. Goman?
Here.
Ms. Pinkley? Here. President Patrick?
Here, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, we need a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the first regular meeting dated Wednesday, April 9th, 2025, accepted and prepared by the clerk.
Make a motion?
Second.
Kelly?
Second.
Lori seconds that.
Lori.
Yes. Mr. Balick?
Yes.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Beagley?
Yes.
Mr. Burnside?
Yes.
Mr. Carselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Goman?
Yes.
Ms. Pinkley?
Yes.
Communications, we have two pieces.
Yes. Number one, Struthers City Auditor's Monthly Statement of Cash Position, Revenue Reports with Transfers in and Out, and Expense Transaction Ledger Reports for the month of March 2025, submitted by Christina S. Bowl, Struthers City Auditor. And number two, Mayor's Report dated Wednesday, April 9th, 2025, April 23rd, 2025, submitted by Catherine Chacon Miller.
Okay, Council, you heard the reading of the communications. I need a motion to receive and file. Ricky makes a motion.
Make a motion to receive and
Ronnie
file.
seconds that.
Yes. Mr. Balick?
Yes.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Beagley?
Yes.
Mr. Burnside?
Yes.
Mr. Carselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Goman?
Yes.
Ms. Pinkley?
Yes.
Okay, Mayor's report. Mayor, you read your report and topics. If you have anything else you want to add? Questions or comments for our mayor? Report of standing committees.
Finance and Legislation Committee meeting to be held May 7th at 6 o'clock.
Any other committees? Okay, anyone wishing to address council, this is on legislation only at this time. You're welcome to do so by coming up to the podium, state your name and address for record. It's on legislation at this time. If none, Megan?
Yes. Number one, an ordinance repealing section 135.07 of the codified ordinances of the city of Struthers and ordinance number 25-013 and declaring an emergency.
Okay, council, you heard the reading. I need a motion to suspend the rules of council, place it over enough to pass. Bob makes a motion.
Second?
Della seconds that.
Mr. Balick?
Yes.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Beagley?
Yes.
Mr. Burnside?
Yes.
Mr. Carselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Goman?
Yes.
Ms. Pinkley?
Yes.
Questions or comments under suspension? Need a motion to pass as read.
Pass is read.
Second?
Yes. Mr. Balick?
Yes.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Beagley?
Yes.
Mr. Burnside?
Yes.
Mr. Carselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Goman?
Yes.
And Ms. Pinkley?
Yes.
Unfinished business. New business. Report our law director. John, do you have anything else you want to add?
I do not.
Questions, comments for our law director? Auditor's absent and safety director's absent. Mayor, do you have anything on behalf of the safety director?
I do not.
Questions or comments for the mayor that need to be forwarded to our safety director? Okay, at this time, before we open it up to the audience, we got some guest speakers tonight. I'm going to ask them to come up. We got some representatives of the Public Board of Health, Ryan, and we got Lisa and Jennifer. Would you come on up and
Good afternoon.
thank
Can
you.
you hear me? First, my name is Ryan Tekek. I'm Health Commissioner for Mahoning County Public Health. I've been with the Health Department for 23 years. I think I knew Mayor Cat when she was working in the office right next door. Really want to thank the council and thank the mayor for allowing us to serve as your health department with the services that we provide here in the county. I really am not here to steal the show of what Lisa's going to explain. But I did bring some flyers of services that we provide here through our health department, and one thing that we learned through a strategic plan that we did several years ago is the community really doesn't know the services that we provide. So this gives us opportunities to get out and explain what we do as a health department in the community. So I'd like to at least pass some of those out, and then you can pass that along One thing that we're always doing as a health department, we're looking at ways to improve, and whether that's through searching for unique grants that actually improves communities. One of the grants that we sought after was called a Healthy Eating Active Living Pilot Program grant that we actually did in Sebring. But having success in Sebring allowed us to further this into a Creating Healthy Communities grant that Lisa's here to explain that we're bringing here for the community of Struthers. So really just want to thank you for your time. Thank you allowing for us to serve your community. And then if there's any questions for me afterwards for any of the programs or services that we have, I'd be happy to take that back to our team. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lisa Slipkovich. I'm a community health education specialist at Mahoning County Public Health. I've only been with them for 6 months, but I've had the pleasure of working on this grant. So we were awarded the Creating Healthy Communities grant at Mahoning County Public Health for the next 5 years. Like Ryan said, we worked in Sebring, and some of the strategies that we worked on there and are continuing to work on is a farmer's market for healthy eating, and also we worked with food pantries where we were able to make some purchases to help them expand so they could provide additional healthy foods, fresh fruits and vegetables to the community, and also public transit for them. So we're working on an educational campaign to let them know how they can access the services through WRTA. So those are some of the things that we're working on in Sebring now. So recently I was able to work with Mr. Benson and Mayor Kat on doing a healthy eating and active living assessment for Struthers. So we were able to complete that with the planning committee that the mayor put together for us. So I was very happy to be able to work with them on that. So basically the Creating Healthy Communities grant seeks to prevent and reduce chronic disease by collaborating with communities to improve access and affordability of healthy foods, as well as increase opportunities for physical activity where we work, we live, and we play. So the program does focus on sustainable, evidence-based policy systems and environmental changes that promote a culture of health within the community. So some examples of some things that we can do here, and we're working on that with the planning committee, and we are hoping this summer to be able to be part of a large community event so we can have the community, we really want to engage the community and have them kind of tell us what they want for the community. So some strategies are repairing or providing new equipment for parks and playgrounds, and these all fall under active living. Active commute support, bike infrastructure, pedestrian infrastructure, public transit improvements, multi-use trails, complete streets policy, active transportation planning, and land use policy. And then under healthy eating, of course the food banks and pantries, we can work on expanding those and helping them have access to more healthy foods for their clients. Having a farmer's market, I know you previously had one here in Struthers, so we can help build that up if that's what the community would like to do. Community gardens, healthy food retail, safe routes to healthy food, produce prescriptions, and food service guidelines. So I just want to thank everybody for allowing us to come here today from the health department and talk to you about this. And I think it's really an exciting opportunity for not only us and Mahoning County, but for the Struthers community. And we're looking forward to working with your residents to see what they think would be beneficial and what anything that can increase activity level, increase intake of healthy food options. So I do appreciate your time, and I look forward to working with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Go ahead, Mayor.
If I could real quick. Is that on? I just wanted to say thank you to the both of you, and thank you for choosing Struthers to do this assessment. One of the biggest things I think we were excited about was that they have implementation dollars for after the plan is complete. And we are also working with the school too. So Superintendent Pete Perone has been on board, as well as their nutrition specialist at the cafeteria with the schools there too. So we have a good variety, we feel, to be going through this assessment. But we just want to say thank you for choosing Struthers to do this.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Okay, now, at this time, we're going to ask the audience, if you wish to address council, you're welcome to do so by coming up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
I live at 422 6th Street. I actually spoke to you guys last summer about the issue with New Lease on Life. It worked for a little bit. Police presence was high. They chilled out a little bit. It is now back to the way it was. She leaves her door open. Stray cats go in and out of her door. They end up in my yard, the neighbor's yards. The dumpster smells like something that I'd rather not say because there's a child in the room, but it's not good. Just the way they park, they're up on your grass, they let their dogs out, their dogs go in your yard. It's just crazy over there. And it's every day between 3 to 8 o'clock, even on Saturdays and Sundays. It is absolutely ridiculous. Now, there's a lawn care business that is renting from Danny Martin, who is using the yard across the street. Now they're telling New Lease people they can't go over there. They can't park behind the building. Where are they supposed to go? In front of the neighbors down 6th Street. You know, it's not fair to us who own our homes that we have to clean up after everybody. These aren't our neighbors walking the dogs. These are people from PA, all over. They come in. They don't care what what they're going to do to our property. Their trash falls out of the car, it ends up in our yards. You know, and before you have said, call the police. I did that for a little while, and one of the officers actually said, why do you keep calling? You know the city's not going to do anything. They're not going to let her shut down. And I'm not going to say the officer's name, but he said it. You know, I actually spoke to you not too long ago. I
know your situation over there, and I definitely feel for it.
And the two
I've contacted officers and had them sent there.
and they've been wonderful.
And I've even put you in contact with them,
Right.
hoping to streamline the process between.
And they've been great. They have been great, but they have bigger
Absolutely.
and better problems to deal with.
Absolutely, but I did see
Then-
across the street, and I'll be honest, I'm gonna sit down with the safety service director to go over our ordinance.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think that they can, there might be a loophole there where they're able to park those trailers there, but that was not our intention when we put those things into play. So if we need to update our ordinances to address those,
There's been a
We
truck
will.
sitting there for over 30 days. Now, if I parked my car in my yard for 30 days, I'd have tickets all over the place.
right.
You know,
I don't
had-
know because I'll have to look into the ordinance a little bit better because that is commercial property.
No, it's not.
No,
No,
it's not
it's-
commercial.
But then,
It is residential.
Yep.
that's perfect. But I would agree that it looks like trash. I would agree that there's 3 or 4 trailers parked behind the building. But yeah, to my understanding, when I put you in contact with the officers and didn't hear any more,
They've
I was
been
assuming,
wonderful.
hey,
Listen,
this worked out perfect.
they're on
you know
it,
what I
you
mean?
know, and I don't have to call the police station. I don't have to, when they have a moment, they go.
Feel free to
And they
reach
have.
back out to me as well. I know a few times we had correspondence, and then when the officers, when I put you two together, you
Yeah,
had.
no, they've been great.
Okay.
You know, they really have been. You know, but it's just not easy enough, and now it's adding to it.
Yeah.
You know, they put no parking signs behind, I guess they're buying the garage, and I actually spoke to the owner, the guy of the lawn care place. He asked me, he goes, how do you feel about me putting a building up? I said, I'm absolutely opposed to it. That's residential. Put a house up. You know, I don't wanna look at a car lot or piles of mulch, and now I gotta smell rotting mulch
Yeah.
on top of the dumpster
You
next
sent me
door.
some of the pictures, and I would agree.
You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm spending every penny I have to fix my property up, and I have to look out my window to that, and I have to deal with that to the side. And actually, one of the neighbors, I'm not the only one, is here, he'd like to speak too, so I will let him,
Okay,
Tina, thank you.
thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else wishing to address council, come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Scott Kvacki. My father is James Kvacki. He lives across from street from me. He can't make it because he's elderly and incapable.
Okay.
I live at 433 6th Street. He lives at 432 6th Street. Like Tina said, the issues with the lawn care service, I mean, it's just trash everywhere with them. Now they're piling rocks all over the place on that property. It's becoming a real eyesore, as well as everything she says with the shelter. All through the summer, I can't even sit on my front porch because the smell from that building is appalling. I mean, it is, from the smell that's coming in there, it is an absolute health hazard. And it's been going on since day one, since they opened up. And my father and myself has talked to the woman who runs it numerous times. And all we get is, well, the kids, they know they're supposed to pick up, there's nothing I can do. Or, yeah, they pick up after the animals, which is a blatant lie. Because we have stopped many of these kids further down the block where the animals are going, using someone's property as a bathroom, yell out to them, and they say, well, didn't think the dog was gonna do that, didn't bring it back. Or they just look around, and take off. And this has been going on since that place opened. So it's nothing new.
Okay, Mayor, go ahead.
Okay, if I could, this is something we've been dealing with since I've been in office and probably before I've been in office. We've had multiple meetings with different agencies. We are constantly on the phone with animal charities, and they're there constantly. We've talked to the health department. They send people out about rats and things with the dumpsters. Some of these are new problems that I wasn't aware of, so I'm not sure if who you've talked to, Tina. Because I know you even said that a couple of our officers gave you their cell phone numbers to call them directly. Like, we are trying to help. We've moved to the stop sign. We've done everything since the last meeting that we've talked to you. We are down 2 officers. We're having a test. We're actually opening up May 12th through June 2nd, so we're gonna have more people on staff, but we are down 2 officers at this time. But I will definitely talk to our safety service director. We're kind of frustrated, we are frustrated with this situation too. Obviously, I don't live there and I can't echo your
You
sentiments.
wouldn't want to live on the block,
But I'm
especially
just-
during the summer.
Right, but I don't even know when they went into business, but we've been meeting about this place. I've talked to special investigators about trying to go in and bust them for different things. So I'm not sure what the answer is. I know with the parking, our guys have been on it. We've been issuing tickets. This with the dumpsters and the residential, I wasn't aware of, so that's something I could talk to our code enforcement officer about. So, and I can get back to you. I wrote your addresses down, and I have Tina's number as well.
Yeah, my father and myself have spoken to the police officers, and they said that's a health department issue. We called the health department. They say, no, it's the officers, local officers, they have to take care of it. So we've gotten a runaround, and it's just, nothing seems to happen other than we have to deal with it every year.
Okay, may I, Ryan, is that something your office can help with?
I wasn't.
I can get more information on it, because I'm not
Can you
100% familiar. but
get with him?
It's Mr. He comes to our office all the time to deal with the rats. And I can't, Tom Tom's here a lot. So I know he's been there.
Dumpster, what's the dumpster? Like, what, is there trash or something?
Yeah, because they have so many animals, and they're filling the dumpsters with trash.
Waste. Okay.
So, Ryan,
We've had animal charities in there since I've been here, probably over 100 times in the last.
I just don't understand how the health department hasn't shut that building down. I mean, in the summertime, it is really offensive.
We've even had the fire department go in and try to give us some.
The hard part with the health department, I mean, we have to see signs of vectors, so actual signs of like rat infestations. Unfortunately, odors, there's nothing that I can take somebody to court on odors. I can check with Tim Susan, who's our legal counsel on that. This goes all the way back to an issue when I first started with the health department of a composting mushroom farm that they wanted them to take to court based on odors and they were able to. But I'll look into it a little bit more.
Ryan, your
What's
office
causing
can,
the odors is that,
Feces inside the dumpster.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
and inside the building. When they open that building, you can smell the ammonia from the urine. So
Ryan, is that something your office can assist us in?
We could take a look at, yeah.
And look and see
I'll
what-
take it back to our team, I'll talk to our legal
Okay.
counsel, Tim Susan.
All right,
I'll
thank
get
you.
more information. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wish to address council? Come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Hello, everybody.
I'm Andrew Young. I live at 911 Fifth Street. The reason why I'm here is going back to our original problem with the sanitary system. On April 5th, I was flooded again. This makes over a dozen times. I had somebody from the sanitary department come into my basement, and the only way I'm able to save my basement is I take one of my pool hoses, which is a 2-inch pool hose. I stick it into my sanitary floor drain, and I run it into my sump pump, which pumps it out to the street like everybody else's rainwater should, but this is coming out of my sanitary sewer. This was just a typical storm. I'm going to hear, yeah, well, we had over a month of water, which this shouldn't be happening, and the problem's actually getting worse. We're getting more constant problems with this rain. I know we did a study, and I believe we spent well over $1 million on this study. Do we have any kind of answer yet? I mean, it's been 3 years since this study first took place. I was at the meeting at Motley Park 3 years ago.
Have you always had flooding there, or has it just been?
Since 1989, when I moved in. The first time I got it, I actually had 6.5 feet of water, sewage water in my basement. I was out of town. My father had to come over and kick the basement window out so the water would run out so it wouldn't go up to my first floor. And this wasn't the first time. After that, I had 3- and 5-foot problems.
So it's always been bad?
Yeah, now I've kind of resolved the problem a little bit myself. I put a mild flap in. The reason why I say mild is I have clay drain tiles under my entire basement, which basically everybody in Struthers does. It's a 6-inch line and it's butted together. If the pressure gets too great, it'll blow out the whole line. So the only other option is let it come into the house. So what I do, once again, like I said, I've gotten smart enough that I've learned to put this line in, this hose, and the only thing I can do is pump it out through my sump pump. And, I mean, haven't heard anything on this study that we spent well over $1 million on 3 years ago. We need to do some resolution. They were talking about relining the sewers. That's definitely not going to help the problem. The matter of fact is, if they do that, they're going to downsize the sewers by over 2 inches per sewer line, which right now what they've got can't handle the water that's coming in from other communities, which shouldn't be coming into our system. And this is rainwater that's coming into our sanitary system. I was one of probably quite a few people, but not a whole bunch, that actually did the proper things. All my storm drains are tied to the street. They go out through the lines like they should. I have a sump pump that goes right to a catch basin at the end of my property. So I'm doing everything legally correct, and I'm still getting punished for it.
Andy, you were talking about when you said you have a flap, that's a backflow preventer you put
It's
in.
technically just a small one, but it'll only hold up to 40 pounds of pressure.
But that's probably better for you because you don't want to blow up the tiles anyway, correct?
Exactly, that's why I only go so strong, and then it just lets go, and the water starts coming through. There was somebody from the sanitary department at our house, April 5th, early in the morning. I called, matter of fact, I even texted Kat and told her, look, this is happening again. I think she was one actually contacted somebody downtown, or down at the water department after I already called a couple of times. The gentleman came out, young man, I don't know who he was, but I showed him. And I'm literally putting in 10 gallons of water a minute. It's a 2-inch hose and it's running full velocity. I mean, 10 gallons a minute going into my basement, and that happened for over 2.5 hours on the 5th. So if you do the math on that, that's like 4,000 gallons of water that would have been in my basement,
Okay.
which would have been 3, 4, 5 feet
All
again.
right, let's give the mayor a chance to
So
respond.
this has been something, since I've been in office, this has been a priority for our administration and for city council, is taking care of this. We've allocated, well, I think it actually is close to $1 million.
It's
I don't
over
know that
$1
it's
million.
been over, but over the years since I've been here, we've had phase 1 done, phase 2 done, and most recently, I believe we've had phase 3 completed, with Frank DeMarco, who's in charge of our stormwater. Now we have to go after the implementation dollars. So this isn't something that we are taking lightly by any means. This is something that is, and has always been since I've been here, a priority, even though it might not seem that way to you. We cannot, there's so many stipulations put out through the EPA that there's certain things we cannot do, and we can't force ourselves into an EPA violation, because I know there was some way that they were handling it in the past. And that's what, I know, I've talked to you guys, live down the street from me, and I see it, and I know that it happens. I don't know that there's a quicker way to get it to happen. So these studies, whatever they're saying, we have to go after the money for them, but they've set up different models and different flows. And Mark is here too, because he's head of our wastewater department, and he can even answer any questions that we have, that you guys have. But I can assure you, since I've been in office, we had the forum. This is always, it's always something that's on the very top priority for us, because we know that especially down at the bottom of Brandon. And it's not just at the bottom of Brandon. There are other places throughout.
Okay, hold on a minute, Andy. Mark, do you have any comments on the situation down there and what the future?
It's my understanding now that they're in the modeling phase of the study to see if their recommendation will actually work. I haven't seen the study itself, so there's a process to go through from A to Z, and you have to touch all the bases to get to where you're going. So it's my understanding that they're in the modeling phase of the study. How long that'll take, I have no idea.
Okay, just going back on that, and not going to another community, but going to Boardman. Boardman had the exact same issue we did. They took the old Market Street School, they made it a retention pond area, they're catching the water, they're stopping the problem. I said 3 years ago at the meeting, I'll sell my property. I'm the lowest part right there in Struthers. That'd be the perfect retention pond. You've got 3/4 of an acre
Right,
to
but
put a retention pond.
we have to go based off of what these companies, these consulting companies are doing the studies and paying. They're not gonna give us money if we just say, this is what we think is gonna work. We have to prove that it's going to work so that the money is gonna be well spent. And I know Jason Laree from Boardman has been working on the flooding issue well before I've ever been in office. He's probably been working on that.
Since 1989, like I was
Yes.
with this problem to begin
Yeah.
with.
Yeah,
And
but
once
it
again, we're
takes,
going back
and now they're
30
just getting,
years
yes.
almost, and I still got the problem.
Yeah, but I can assure you, we are working on it. We're trying to move this as quick as we possibly can. They're just far ahead of us. That's why they're able to implement that. But while you may know that's the fix, he might even know that's a fix. We might all know that's a fix until we have somebody who has all of the degrees and all the schooling and engineering tells us this is what, we're not getting any money to do any of that unless we have those stamped plans. Even though we can probably sit here and make an educated guess, yes, that would work, we legally can't, nobody's gonna give us money to do it.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Andy.
Hi, I'm Jason Brummett. I live at 914 Fifth Street. Same problem as him. You've seen it. You've seen it. You've seen it. The water comes down all 3 of the streets. Since we do asphalt, layer over layer over layer, all the catch basins are all shrunk. You cut off the artery where all the water's supposed to go from layering up asphalt. And the water, when we get these, what do they like to call it? Once in a 100-year rain, every year, it's not a God event. This is, Mr. Bass has been to just about every one of our floods. And I understand that you guys got a study done, but like Andy said, that's been 3 years. I know that they can't dump the water into the stream anymore because of the EPA. That's not our problem. We're taking on water from, like he said, from Boardman, coming into our drains, and then we're surging our pipes. Mark lives in my backyard. I stand in my backyard. Mr. Bass has seen it, up to here in water in my backyard. I mean, we got to do something here. I mean, this shouldn't be this way. In all fairness to Andy, I think I'm the lowest point in that area.
No, he's right. But I mean, it's, you know, a matter of a few feet, or a few inches really, but it's, we are the catch basin. And we're the, Paul Soline, Greg Bachman, Thomas Smith, these people are all catching the same exact water that we
One
are.
of the times I went out there, all the water was all the way to the parking lot at Dollar General.
Yeah.
Up to his front porch, going in the front door. And this is only, where are we talking about, a 45-minute rain? I mean, it's not.
Oh,
I
if you
think
wanna this see
was a
videos, I'll show you
monster
some.
hurricane.
It's crazy. I have to park my car in the middle of the street to keep people from creating waves, causing water to come into my front door. That's how bad the water is. I mean, and then I look like an asshole screaming out in front of everybody not to use the street. Because if we call the cops, they don't do anything. I get it, they're busy, understaffed, whatever. I wouldn't want to go play street director. I mean,
No, but Kat, in situations like that, we could get the street department out there at least
Yes,
to block
and
that
they
portion
get out,
of the
but
road.
what happens though is the water happens so fast, by the time we get the street department out to get the trucks and get there, it's already gone down. So we do call
Not
them
saying
out.
that's a fix.
But
Kat.
wait, I know, but
No,
we-
I know.
Dallas, all good.
No,
You know what I mean.
and
All
we
good.
can't even begin to understand the frustration, and we would probably all be the same as you guys, frustrated, irritated. And all I can do, and we can do in our position, is give you our word that we are doing everything that we can do. We're spending a lot of money in the city to try to fix that, but we can't, if we could speed it up, we would. If there was something in our power that we could do legally and according to the EPA and being financially responsible, we would already have done it. This is a problem that's been there for a long time, and we're trying to do the best we can. All I
Truthfully,
could do is give you our word that we are,
From what I
this is a
know,
priority for the city to have.
I don't know that much about every one of these problems, Mark's your guy, but
Yeah.
from my understanding, the infrastructure in this city is very, very old.
Well,
It hasn't been updated. It's a lot of money, obviously, to update, which is why the studies are going on. But Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, we're still in the middle of those studies. It's not as if the study is completed and we have an answer.
My
What we
understanding,
started 3 years ago is still going on, correct?
my understanding of the stormwater study is that it's in the modeling phase.
So phase one, from our understanding, phase one is complete,
Yeah.
and phase two is complete. Phase three is the modeling.
There's also, a study going on at the wastewater plant for the overflow and how we have it come through.
Now, obviously, the retention basin they put in at 5 points, will that help our flows at
That
all?
took off approximately 250,000 gallons.
It actually made it worse in our
Which
neighborhood.
isn't a lot.
It technically made it worse in our neighborhood. And Mark, the only, one question I really do have, I know my time is done, but why are we getting,
city from Boardman.
why, no, well, not that, but why are we getting stormwater in our sanitary systems?
There's all kind of reasons.
That,
You know,
that
first of
shouldn't
all,
happen at
a
all.
lot of it's clay tile. Clay tile over the years has been a leak. There's probably in the city and everywhere else in our 201 area, people have tied their downspouts into the sanitary system. Okay? And until you find them and locate them, there's nothing
We
you
did
can
a
do
thing
about
on
it.
that too, even to the smoke test.
They did it in Struthers, but I don't believe the county ever did it.
But those are the flows that we get from Boardman, our county flows, correct?
Correct. Boardman and Poland come from there.
If you look at Brandon, Geneva, and
That whole area.
that whole area, if you go up and down those streets and look at the gutter, and you'll see that from years of pavement, we've
The catch basin.
never given anywhere for the water to go.
Pardon me?
They're choked off.
Yeah, if these, I haven't looked, I'd have to look, but there's no reason to doubt it.
No, I agree.
The catch basin's probably
If that is
half the size they should be.
if that is the case, Mark, is that something through stormwater or wastewater that you guys would address? Or is that something that we then, raising those catch basins, is that something that we have?
That's a good question. It should have been dealt with when the
I've seen it.
Okay.
I
It's
believe
horrible.
most of that water comes from Mahoney County.
Oh, I would
Mark,
certainly think
is
so.
there something you can do with Mahoney County to partner with to help with the situation?
Other than pitch a bitch, I don't think so.
Can you talk to them? Can you have some dialogue with them?
Sure, I can, but they're basically gonna tell me, you know, this
Well,
is
try
what
it.
we're doing. It's
Well,
not-
try.
Oh, yeah, I'll call, I'll talk to somebody, I'll talk
Try.
to Matt.
And Mayor and Mark, we're able to at least try something as far as the catch basins go.
Well, let me
If
take
they
a
are
look at it
choked
and
out,
then
we'll try to find a solution. Maybe it'll relieve some of, the water issues.
It'll probably relieve the water on the street, but it'll probably also make it worse in the pipes.
Okay.
You know,
All right, we'll,
Thank you for your time.
everybody's got, the point. Anybody else wishing to address council, welcome to do so by coming up podium, state your name and address for the record. If not, just a reminder, on the sixth, May 7th rather, 6 p.m. finance. Need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion?
Second?
Second.
Mr. Ballack?
Yes.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Beagley?
Yes.
Mr. Burnside?
Yes.
Mr. Parselli?
Yes.
Mrs. Goman?
Yes.
Ms. Pingley?
Meeting's adjourned.
I was off then.
I said